Hi Dara, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Doing good. I'm very glad to be next to the ocean.
Yeah, beautiful location. Yeah. So Dara, what is the topic today you want to do?
Today, I was hoping to talk about the life of a yogi. What does a yogi mean? And how can everybody work towards living a more yogic life?
Yeah. So let's contemplate on the definition of yogi itself, right?
Mhm.
The definition of yogi is someone who practices yoga, and we have to ask, well, what is yoga?
Mhm.
You might have heard yoga in many places. How do you define yoga?
To me, yoga is such a broad term because there's so many different types of yoga, but really all it is practice, like some kind of practice.
In reality, there is a different version of yoga that's been circulating today.
Mhm.
Yoga is looked up as mainly as embodiment exercises or meditation.
Yeah.
But the true meaning of yoga means union. The true definition of a yogi is someone who has union in body, mind, and soul.
Could it also be somebody who's striving towards union in body, mind, and soul?
Yeah. So you are absolutely right. A yogic practice is a practice of achieving oneness in body, mind, and soul. If you look at Krishna, Krishna is one of the biggest yogi himself. Shiva is an yogi too. And um, there are different types of yogis. There are different paths to get there as well. There is no one single way. Kriya is one approach. There are many yogis that practice Kriya yoga. Kriya as in like breathing in and breathing out, the exercises that you see. And there are different types of yogas. If you look at our Vedanta as a whole, there is Bhakti yoga, yoga through compassion, Karma yoga, yoga through fulfilling one's purpose and working towards the Jnana yoga, yoga through knowledge and wisdom, understanding the source of creation and everything related.
Yeah. So, how do you know which yoga to pursue, or is there even a specific yoga that one should stick to, or should they be doing a little bit of everything?
So it depends upon the person again, right? Like on and their interests. So whatever you want to do, make sure it is aligned with your way of work, way of personal life. Then it will be more productive and efficient. So let's say if someone is working towards helping people, they can become a karma yogi. They can work towards a greater purpose, bringing peace and prosperity. That's a good karma.
Yeah.
Or leading the people in the right direction. Or if someone wants to uh, provide knowledge and wisdom to others in terms of how to live their lives better, he will become a Gnana yogi and he can teach that knowledge and wisdom to others as well.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the Bhakti yoga is equivalent to love and compassion. That means one, while experiencing the life itself, can enjoy Bhakti yoga and look at divinity in every aspect. So, Bhakti is essentially love towards God in general terms. That's how it's widely used in India.
Okay.
And the love can be expressed in many ways. It could be expressed through puja, praying to the God. It could be expressed through bhajan. Bhajan is a bhakti,
Yeah.
saying the God, Lord's name, whatever the God is, be it Hindu deity or biblical or any deity for that matter.
Yeah.
So these are the different ways of attaining and feeling oneself. And there are other ways of bhakti as well. It is not limited to one or two approaches. If you see Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who is considered as an avatar of Vishnu himself,
Mhm.
he practiced bhakti yoga a lot. There is bhakti in every aspect of life.
Yeah.
So going back to your original question, right? Like a true yogi is someone who practices oneness in every aspect of life. It is not related to just the work he is doing. It is also related to uh, every aspect, personal life, everything that he needs.
Yeah. Yeah. And as you're describing all of these different paths, they all kind of bleed into each other in a way because they are all kind of one, but just different ways of looking at the same exact action. Like, for example, the first example that we used of teaching other people knowledge and wisdom and all of this, right? That can be bhakti yoga as well. If you look at knowledge is God or other people are gods, and you're really serving and loving them by spreading knowledge, right?
You are absolutely right. You're talking about oneness. Of course, there is oneness in every aspect. Now, if you have to define what is God, right? Like, where does God exist? God exists in everyone's perspective. Then why are we saying like Jesus or Father is God or Allah is God or Vishnu or Krishna is God? It's just there are some perspectives that are the purest that makes you experience the God in its purest form.
Yeah.
And we are designed to be attracted to that. That's why those definitions of God are more famous.
Yeah.
You can see a teenager who is partying a lot and you cannot call him God. Like, it doesn't appear good. So the society, uh, the way normal people treat, is they give so much respect to the God as in its purest form. They cannot associate God to a regular person, looking at him from a divine perspective
Yeah.
itself, or looking at something in a divine perspective. And when the self-importance becomes higher and higher, they feel that they are the God himself, themselves, and treat everyone else lowly too, which are the ego problems that we see in today's world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, this is a deviation from the topic that we are discussing. But to your original point, there is oneness in every aspect and every yoga. Going back to our original question about yoga, right? Like, so
What is yoga?
what
Is
is
what we
yoga?
just answered,
Yeah,
right?
yoga is the union of body, mind, and soul. Now we need to define what is the union of body, mind, and soul. Now, what yogi lifestyle is the best lifestyle as well, right?
Yeah, it's the most
Because
efficient.
if he exists in every form, every aspect, then you're better off being a yogi that is inspiring for others. If you look at the way the society runs, right? Like, people influence other people, they influence other people. Let me give you one example. So, we were discussing just about oneness, right? Like the God. There's another way to realize that. Within yourself, your body is made of multiple cells. Thus, each of the cell has its own lifetime. And after one's death, the cells could exist for a little bit longer. The cell, you can transplant that organ from that person to the other person.
Yeah.
Does that mean you are different from your cells?
It just means that your cells are a part of you, but they are not equal to you.
The cells are part of you. How can they be part of you and be alive after one's death, right? Like, if they're part of them, they have to die along with the person. Does that mean the person never died?
It depends on how you would define that person then. Is the person defined based on its components or as a whole?
It's as a whole. So there is a perspective that you can look at it, right? Like, there are different ways. So I'll give you one perspective that you can look at, as in, like, imagine if the cells are all different organisms all together. Of course, we do have gut bacteria and different bacteria on our skin as well,
Yeah.
right? And those bacteria coexist with us. Whatever we vibrate with, it will ensure that that bacteria is healthy as well or not, right? So if you're stressed out, you could have stomach ailment because of the gut bacteria or skin problems, right? That means we are a complex organism, which is a union of multiple small organisms as well. You can look at it from that perspective too.
Yeah. Because they all come together to create what it is to be you.
Exactly. And every action of yours will impact your DNA on the cells. Your cell DNA is getting transformed by your action.
So that is union of body, mind, and spirit. Mind and spirit, can we talk a little bit about those
Yeah.
unions?
I'll get to the mind and spirit. So going back to the oneness, right? Like we are one complex organism, but the reality that we don't understand is we are complex beyond that as well. Everything that you have around you, every plant, the earth itself, you are all interlinked as one organism. We feel we are different, but the reality is we are all same. My words will influence you, your words will influence others. So are many people influencing many other people as well.
Yeah.
So God is in essence, if we consider as oneness, we are all one big organism. Only thing that is standing in between us is ignorance in terms of realizing that.
Yeah.
So a true yogi, a Shiva yogi, is the one who understands the existence and the oneness as a whole. That's why if you see a Shiva yogi often is referred to as Adi Purush, the one who is first created.
So that is somebody who follows Shiva, right? Adipuri.
Adi Purush is the first person. Shiva is just a name.
Okay.
That means every one of us, every living, non-living thing has come from itself.
I see what you're saying. Okay. So just like you would say that a cell was created by you,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same exact thing but flipped in size.
Exactly. Just we are thinking like multiple cells build you, 8 billion people and all the things that we
Right.
see around or we don't see around made us.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the concept of rebirth from this perspective, rebirth works.
Okay.
If you look at concept of rebirth as you as in a different person and trying to be born again and again, it works, but it also comes with ignorance. That type of rebirth. A yogi has undeterred focus. The focus is so sharp, he can slice through any thoughts. And if you see people who are practicing yoga, they're often called to practice meditation and practice on nothingness. And it's often hard for people to even focus on nothingness.
Yeah.
How can one focus on nothingness without even understanding what it means? You know why they ask people to focus on nothingness? If we are praying by any means, right, like be it meditation or something, when you pray to the purest of the form, your experience is at its best.
So nothingness, because nothingness is very pure.
Every thought or every action has an effect,
Yeah.
karmic effect. If every thought and every action has an effect, what is the purest level of thought?
No thought.
That's exactly what we are asked to focus on.
Got it. Okay. Um, so going back to focus, how does somebody cultivate having really sharp focus? Like if you're on the journey, then what are some things that you can do to improve your focus?
If you see in the old days, in Satya Yuga, it is mentioned that people used to do vanaprastha. Vanaprastha means wandering in the forest or residing in the forest as a yogic lifestyle. It means secluding from oneself from day to day life, sansara, and focusing on the things that matter, realizing them their true selves.
Yeah.
That's what they do. So
Focusing inward.
yeah, focusing inward. So one of the days it was sorry, the lady was taking a video of us both when she was walking, and I got a little bit distracted, but now I'm back.
Yeah.
So Vanaprastha means one who resides in the forest to practice, meditate upon himself and realize God. This used to be the most famous way, and it's the ideal and true way to realize the true self.
Why is it so ideal going into the forest?
So, if we look at today's way of doing things,
Yeah.
the realization is not at its best. As in, like, people often do puja or give harati to the God. The real way of, or the true definition of God itself, nice place. So, the true, I'm also feeling a bit sleepy probably, but the true way of realizing God Himself is understanding what the concept of the God is, and paying respect to it. You know, the way of God in Sakya Yoga again, the true definition of realizing God is understanding what to give right respect as well. How do you get that first place? If you ask someone, someone teaches you, you might understand, you might give respect for that reason. But if you realize it yourself, the way of understanding, the way of experiencing,
Yeah.
the way of giving right respect, you will know how to do it for every aspect in your life.
Yeah.
That is the truest form of realism.
Yeah. So just so I make sure I understand this,
Yeah.
what you're saying is when you realize something yourself, you are experiencing it yourself, which comes with deeper feelings, deeper emotions, which comes with knowledge. And that's why Wana Prastha is best because it forces you to actually experience yourself.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Did I understand that correctly?
Vanaprastha, you can say like Vanaprastha is a way of doing it. In today's day and time, it's not possible for someone to seclude themselves from day to day life, completely going to a forest and do these kind of things. So what it essentially means is when you isolate yourself and focus inwards, understanding who you are, the true self of yourself, then you will be able to realize what is the true definition of God, what deserves the right respect,
Yeah.
what is the right responsibility, what is the right way of living, what is the right way of experiencing anything. You know what is the right way of experiencing everything?
First person perspective without detachment.
With detachment.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sorry. With
Yes, with
detachment.
detachment.
Yeah.
So when you respect and experience things with detachment, we as a being evolve. Detachment is a stepping stone for evolution.
Right.
One who doesn't get detached doesn't evolve.
Yeah. And the really cool part is that even when you're detaching, you're constantly attaching and then detaching. And then that attaching, detaching, that's the evolution. You can't, well, maybe you can constantly detach. This is a question. Can you constantly detach, or is it more of like a detach, attach, detach, attach? And that is what is evolution.
So now we are getting to the essence of a yogi. The life of a yogi is about working towards a purpose, develop attachments for achieving that purpose,
The right purpose.
the right purpose, and detach from those attachments when the purpose is done and be moving on.
Yeah.
He will become the most efficient person to be able to accomplish everything in life. So that's the true definition of yogi. One who uses his body and mind as a tool to achieve the purpose, to fulfill what his soul desires, his identity desires. And when he realizes his true soul, Atma, which is the Paramatma, then the purpose will unite across the board.
Yeah.